Hi, my loves. Welcome to your reading. So, if you saw the title, then you already know why you're here. And today, we're diving into a very specific message that's coming through regarding a masculine energy. Now, when I rolled the astro dice, what came out was Mars in Capricorn in the 12th house. Right away, that's giving me the energy of someone who carries a lot of fear and also struggles with control issues. The 12th house often speaks to what's hidden, the subconscious mind, deep-seated fears, and even karmic or past life wounds that we carry into this lifetime. With Mars showing up here, which is masculine, assertive, and sometimes even aggressive, there's this conflict between wanting control and being afraid of what happens when they don't have it. Capricorn itself is typically a very reliable and structured energy, but in this placement, it can show up as someone who leans too heavily on control as a coping mechanism. For many of them, this may stem from unresolved childhood wounds, particularly around authority figures or parental dynamics. For others, it may be energy that follows them from past lives, cycles of power, control, and fear repeating themselves. Now, here's the thing. This person walked away from a connection. The reason it happened, from what I'm getting, is because they felt themselves losing grip on that sense of control. It almost feels like they were falling deeper than they expected, and instead of allowing themselves to surrender to it, they panicked. They chose the safer route, walking away. And I say this because when I pulled some tarot, the Eight of Cups came out. That's literally the card of someone stepping away, even if the connection meant something to them. But the hidden energy at the bottom of the deck tells the full story. We had the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. To me, that combination screams of someone whose emotions were rising, who felt pulled towards something fated, something they weren't ready for. It triggered them. They may have masked it under ego, pride, or acting like they had the upper hand. But underneath it all, it was fear. Plain and simple. Fear of losing control, fear of vulnerability, fear of being swept into something they couldn't manage the way they wanted to. So, at its core, this isn't someone who walked away out of a lack of care or interest. They walked away because the depth of what they were feeling was more than what they knew how to handle at the time. Whoever this masculine energy is, they definitely want to return. We see that with the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Cups showing up together. So this is someone in your energetic field who is looking to circle back around. This is a person who walked away from this connection in the past, but now it feels like they're being guided back. With the Page of Cups, there's a strong indication of an apology, a small but meaningful gesture of vulnerability. The Knight of Swords here also speaks to a sudden shift, a message, or even a breakthrough in communication. What I'm sensing is that this person stepped away, gave themselves space, and in that time, they've had some real moments of reflection. It feels like the wheel is now turning in your favor. Right behind the Knight of Swords, we have the Three of Wands, which shows someone standing at the edge waiting for their ships to come in. This is them gathering the courage to step forward, and with the Strength card showing up right behind, it's confirmation. They're summoning the inner bravery to take action. So today's message is going to be very clear for some of you. If this resonates, then it's meant for you. Right now, it does feel like there's separation between you and this person, but their energy is strongly reaching for reconnection. When I pulled from the Animal Spirit Oracle to look deeper into their current energy, the Scorpion came out first. This tells me there is a fiery attraction here, but also a defensive edge. This is someone who reacts from a place of control or self-protection. It almost feels like a habitual pattern, something ingrained in them. With the Buffalo coming alongside it, though, I'm seeing a very different layer. This is a soul who is trying to ground themselves, who is learning to find stability through a spiritual lens. What this tells me is that they're becoming more aware of the deeper issues that caused the rift between you two. They're starting to recognize that they had a heavy hand in why this separation happened in the first place. And that realization is exactly why we're seeing the Wheel of Fortune turning. It's the universe nudging them toward growth, accountability, and a possible reunion with you. So let's take a look at the mutual energy between the two of you. And what came out here is the Fox. Now, this is actually really beautiful energy because the fox is symbolic of a monogamous and deeply nurturing partner. At the core, this is what both of you truly want. But here's the thing. I feel like that's exactly what ended up scaring this person. It seems like before this connection, they were operating more on the non-committal side in general. They like to stay in control, to not let themselves fall too deep, and to always keep their guard up, almost like with the Scorpion energy. Prickly on the outside, but very protective of their heart. That's just how they've moved through connections. But with you, it was different. With you, they actually saw something long-term, something real. And instead of leaning into it, it triggered fear. The idea of surrendering control, of being vulnerable, made them retreat. So what happened? They ran. And now, they sit in regret. When we look at how they're viewing you, though, we've got the dolphin, and honestly, it makes so much sense why they're feeling that regret so heavily, because the dolphin energy is extraordinary. This is the energy of a blessing, a once-in-a-lifetime, life-changing kind of blessing. You, collective, have truly changed this person's life. I think for many of you, there was a moment where you questioned yourself. What did I do wrong? Why did they pull away when I felt this so deeply? But the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. They felt it just as strongly, and that's what scared them. The depth of this connection meant they had to let go of control, and that triggered them. Now, with time and distance, they're realizing that what they had with you was irreplaceable. The dolphin card in this deck speaks to unexpected, life-altering blessings. And that's exactly what you have been to this person. Instead of embracing it, they defaulted to old patterns, shutting down, running, protecting themselves. And yet, the awareness is hitting them now. You were the best thing that ever happened to them. All right, loves, let's pull the last card here, and we have the bear. Okay, so this is powerful. The bear is about awakening, coming out of hibernation, stepping into a brand new cycle. What this tells me is that you've stirred something within this person. You've woken them up. They've had realizations, awakenings, almost like being shaken out of a long sleep where they were hiding from themselves and from this connection. I'm picking up a lot of regret here. And that lines up perfectly with why we saw the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups during the pre-shuffle with the dice. Both of those energies point to someone who knows they need to come forward, to open up, to apologize, to express what's really in their heart. This person is fully aware that they can't just leave things where they left them. They can't let this connection go. For many of you, there's clear unfinished business, and your person knows it. It's pressing on them. So if this is resonating with you, let's move into the tarot and take a deeper look at what's going on here, what their intentions are, what they're actually planning when it comes to re-entering your life. Because I am strongly feeling a re-entry here. We've got the Hermit, Virgo energy, and the Nine of Pentacles showing up. Right away, we see 2 nines. That's significant because 9s are about cycles nearing completion, and that ties beautifully back to the bear card we just pulled. Some of you may even be life path 9s, or your person could be, but regardless, there's this sense of a chapter coming to its close so that something new can begin. Now, the 9 of Pentacles sitting next to the Hermit tells me a couple of things. First, this person has spent a lot of time in solitude reflecting, maybe even building themselves up, working on stability, working on independence, but at the same time, it feels like they've realized that all that success or independence doesn't mean much without true emotional connection. And that's where you come in. I pulled the hidden energy as well, and no surprise, it's the King of Cups. And I'm getting heavy Scorpio vibes for some of you. The King of Cups is that deep emotional energy, the feelings that run way deeper than they've ever let on. And this is the heart of the issue. This person has always carried strong emotions for you, but those very feelings are what scared them and pushed them to run in the first place. Now, though, after all of this time, after these awakenings, they can't deny it anymore. They don't want to let you go. To them, you are the best thing that has ever happened, and I feel they just didn't know how to handle the depth of it when they had you right there in front of them. This is someone who wants another chance, someone who is realizing they need to step up, open their heart, and not let fear dictate their choices this time around. The Nine of Pentacles speaks to liberation, and in this case, I feel what this person really needs to free themselves from is the buildup of unspoken feelings, all the thoughts they've been holding in, and all the romantic ideas they've secretly carried about you and this connection. It's almost as though they had these big, beautiful visions of what the two of you could be, but the sheer weight of those dreams became overwhelming. Why? Because stepping into them would mean surrendering a certain level of control. And here's the thing. The King of Cups is all about control. He doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. In fact, in this deck, he's even depicted with sunglasses on, holding the cup close, as if to say, I'll hold these feelings, but I won't let you see them. Beneath that calm exterior, though, there's an ocean of emotion running deep. So, whoever this is, they've been holding on to more than they've ever let on. Now, paired with the Nine of Pentacles, we see the Six of Pentacles. This points directly to the imbalance between you. The connection was left uneven, the scales tipped unfairly. That unbalanced energy still lingers between you both. It's like a cord that hasn't been cut. There's still a powerful bond, but both of you know that because of the way things ended, it can't move forward unless it's properly addressed. For some of you, this person may have quite literally disappeared. Cold turkey, ghosted without a word, or even just left you on read. And that moment of silence left you wondering, what just happened here? That imbalance needs to be corrected, and deep down, they know it's on them to do it. They're aware the responsibility lies with them, not you. I think many of you have felt the anticipation of their return, but you're not making any move toward them, and that's wise. Both of you, on some level, understand that the bulk of the responsibility for reconciliation rests on their shoulders. Now, when we look at the Hermit clarified by the Four of Pentacles, it becomes even clearer. This is someone who has held back so much, someone who has gone inward, but not in a way that led to release. They've kept everything bottled up, clinging tightly to their emotions, almost like they're protecting a wound. I'm strongly picking up past life energy here, old soul ties, and unresolved karmic wounding. On top of that, there could be something rooted in their family line, possibly from the paternal side, that taught them to control, suppress, or even fear their emotions. This feels like a learned behavior, a survival mechanism passed down. For many masculines, that tendency to bury feelings runs deep, even though beneath it, they're often incredibly sensitive, intuitive, and deeply emotional beings. That's what I see with this person, a natural, empathic, emotional soul, likely someone who feels everything intensely, but who has learned to cover it up, hide it, and shut it down. For some of you, I'm even picking up Pisces energy here. It wouldn't surprise me if that's their sign or a strong placement in their chart. So I think ultimately what's happened here is that all of this energy, all of these feelings have just built up over time, and that accumulation has become the very thing creating the blockage in this connection. Let's look at the King of Cups. Why is he here? Oh, and it's the King of Cups again. So Spirit is doubling down on this message. Heavy water energy is definitely coming through. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Hierophant and the Four of Swords, which tells me there's a real fear of commitment here. It's not just about commitment in the surface sense, though. It's the fear of surrendering control, of actually loosening the grip and releasing their independence. For some of you, I'm also strongly picking up that this person carries family wounds connected to relationships and commitment. It's something ingrained, something patterned deep within them. And that conditioning has been difficult for them to confront. Still, with the wheels showing up here, I do feel they've been doing some serious reflection. It might have taken months, maybe even years. But they've been processing, slowly working through what this connection really means for them. And that shift, that turning of the wheel, is showing up now. Something within them is finally starting to move. Now, why is the Hermit here? And we see the Tower. This is huge. This is an internal Tower moment. Aries and Scorpio energy are strong here. What I'm sensing is that they've been holding so much inside for so long, and it's reaching a breaking point. It's almost like an explosion waiting to happen because they can no longer sit with the uncertainty, the what if of what could have been between you. That pressure has been mounting, And it's tied to the cognitive dissonance they were in when this connection first broke down. But here's the thing. They're waking up. They're coming out of that slumber, out of that fog. They're having epiphanies, realizing this isn't random, that this connection ties into their greater soul path. As scary as it may be to let go of control, that's exactly the lesson being presented here. With the Hermit and the Tower together, there's so much inner work happening. This is someone going through deep integration, someone trying to reconcile their fears with their truth. And though it's uncomfortable, it's also incredibly transformative energy. 9 of Pentacles. Let's see why it's here. Yeah, it's clarified by the Page of Cups. So for some of you, this really does look like an apology. This feels like your person finally liberating themselves, breaking free from all that inner resistance, and coming forward to tell you how they feel. It's like this admission of, yeah, I messed up, I know I did, and I want to make it right. But what's important here is the way it's coming through. It feels heartfelt. It's not surface level or rehearsed. It's raw. It's genuine. If you're used to this person being guarded, hiding behind that mask of control, this may surprise you. Because for some, this really is different. There's been change in them, growth in them, and naturally, the way they express themselves is going to reflect that change. Now, why is the King of Cups here? Wow, it's the Ace of Cups. I mean, this is someone who is in love with you. You are their person. They've been carrying so many deep emotions, and it's like those feelings are demanding to be spoken now. Honestly, for some of you, I feel like this person has cried over you, and that might shock you, especially if this is a very masculine energy. Mars in Capricorn came out earlier, so we're talking about someone who doesn't easily show vulnerability, who likes to keep things structured and under control. Yet, with that 12th house influence, what's happening inside them is a whole different story. There's emotional turmoil, sleepless nights, fear, regret, and at the same time, this overwhelming pullback toward you. This Ace of Cups tells me they want a brand new beginning, but not just any kind. It has to start with emotional truth, with them opening up. And so far, we've seen heavy cup energy throughout this read, which just reinforces that this is about feelings, love, and healing. So, if emotional expression was what you were hoping for, I feel like that's exactly what's coming. Of course, it's a general reading, so trust your intuition with this. But I will say this, you've deeply touched this person. They recognize who you are to them, and they don't want to let you go. If the cost of holding on to you is opening up that vulnerable side, then it looks like they're ready to take that risk. Why is the Ace of Cups here? Let's look deeper. It's the Three of Swords. So what I'm really getting is that this person almost had to experience heartbreak in order to open themselves up emotionally. They were guarded for so long, almost locked away behind this wall they built around their heart. The separation from you, along with the guilt over how they treated you, cracked that wall. It's like they were operating from this powerless energy, but disguising it with this mask of masculine control, this ego-driven front. They thought they were protecting themselves, but in reality, they ended up wounding themselves even more in the process. But here's the thing. This pain was necessary. Without it, they wouldn't have awakened to their emotional side. It forced them to face what they've been avoiding for so long. And if we circle back to that scorpion energy we pulled earlier, it makes perfect sense. This is someone who has always been on the defensive, someone who lashes out or withdraws when they feel vulnerable. I do sense there's deep wounding from their past that taught them to close off, to wall up their heart. And yet, you've been different. You've been a blessing in disguise for them, something undeniable, something they can't just turn away from anymore. We see that here with the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. This person is in regret. They know they missed an opportunity with you. They feel the imbalance. They ignored this connection when, deep down, they knew exactly what it was. And now the message keeps repeating. Fear got in the way. Fear stood between them and what could have been real. And now the task at hand is restoring balance, making things right. Four of Pentacles. Let's take a look. Clarified by the Two of Pentacles. This tells me they've been in this place of waiting, of holding back, clinging tightly to your energy, clinging to this connection even in separation. They're carrying the grief, the guilt, the heaviness of the choice they made, knowing it wasn't the right one. There's regret wrapped all around this. The only way this person feels they can truly be free, and I think deep down they're fully aware of this, is to come forward in a genuine, honest way. And honestly, collective, that's exactly what you've been expecting, what you've been holding space for as well. Now let's look at the Tower. Why is it here? We've got the Seven of Cups. At the bottom of the deck is Temperance, and we've also got the King of Pentacles. This is big. This person has been going through a healing process. They've gained clarity now, and they know you are the one. With the Seven of Cups in the traditional deck, there's that image of the figure standing hidden beneath the sheet in one of the cups. That's you. You've been the choice all along, and they finally see it. But here's the kicker. They're angry with themselves for not realizing it sooner, for not stepping up when they had the chance. It feels like a missed opportunity in their eyes. And now they wonder constantly, is it too late? Can they still turn this around? With Temperance showing up, they want to balance things out. They want to bring harmony back between you. They want to do something tangible, something real, to prove they've grown and to make amends. But lingering under all of that is the fear. Will you accept it? Will you even want to? Because of how everything ended before, they're not sure if your heart is still open to them. Look at the deck, by the way. The Ace of Cups. Yeah, this person's in love with you. For some of you, they never even got the chance to tell you, or they simply didn't have the courage to open up. And why? Here comes the Nine of Pentacles. Wow! Clarified by the Four of Wands and the Ten of Cups. At the bottom, we've got the Three of Pentacles and Death. That tells me this person has gone through some real transformation. They're at the point now where they're ready to surrender that need for control. Before, it was almost like, if I stay in control, I can protect myself. But if I let go, I risk getting hurt. But what they've realized is that holding on to control has cost them you. And now, they're willing to give it up. They're ready to do a full 180, not a 360, because that would just put them right back where they started. This is genuine change. This person is prepared to offer more than they've ever offered to any connection or any person before, because the loss of this connection has been a wake-up call. The Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands here, this is the dream, the happy ending, the life they've been secretly imagining with you all along. They've romanticized that future, but they never expressed it because of that deep control issue, that fear of vulnerability. Now, it's all they think about. They want it. And with the Three of Pentacles and the Death card, it shows they've changed. They want to build. They want to transform this connection into something lasting. Behind that, we see the Eight of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, which brings us right back to the pre-shuffle message. They walked away, but destiny keeps pulling them back. They're tired of the distance, tired of the silence. At this point, they need to know where you stand, because they can't stay away any longer. Let me see. How do you actually feel about them, collective? We've got the Nine of Cups here, so there's no denying this person still feels like a wish fulfillment to you, but at the same time, I do see you shifting more of that energy inward, trying to focus on yourself, your own growth, your own stability. Now, that doesn't mean the door is closed. If this person can come back around in the right way, honest, truthful, and vulnerable, I think many of you would give them another chance. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Lovers paired with the Hierophant, which is powerful. This tells me you still recognize the soul bond here, that sense of divine connection. And for many of you, this is the person you once believed was the one. You wanted things to move toward that commitment, that higher level union. And deep down, you're still willing to hear them out if they come forward with the emotional openness you always knew was in them. Right now, collective, I feel like you're standing in this place of readiness. It's not desperation, it's more like patience paying off. You've been waiting for this person to finally wake up, to step into their truth, to drop the walls. What you want now isn't just their presence. You want their emotional expression, the realness you knew they were capable of but always held back. And I think, intuitively, many of you already understand why they may have pulled away or sabotaged things in the past. It wasn't because of you, it wasn't because of a lack of love. It was an inner battle, their own conflict, their own fears. And now you're simply waiting to see if they can overcome that and meet you where you've always been. Why the Four of Pentacles? We've got the Hanged Man with the Sun at the bottom and the Knight of Wands. This tells me that your person has gained a completely new perspective. They've been holding back for quite some time, but it wasn't without reason. It took them a while to really get down to the root of things, to see clearly how they contributed to the confusion and disconnection in this connection. Because at the heart of it, that's exactly what happened. They pulled away, maybe even walked away, while feelings were still very much alive on both sides. Now, with the Hanged Man and the Sun showing up, it's clear they've had a breakthrough moment, a shift in awareness. They've seen the light, so to speak, and it's changed their perspective on everything. With that realization comes a decision. They know they need to open up and come forward. And yet, I can feel the nervousness here. It's going to require them to drop their guard completely, to approach you from the heart space rather than the overthinking, controlling Capricorn brain energy that kept them locked up before. This isn't easy for them. It's a big leap, but they're willing to do it. So what's next? We've got the Eight of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Hermit. This shows that they're actively working on ending the silence between you. The Hermit tells us they've been in deep reflection, but the Chariot says they're ready to break free of that isolation and move toward you with real determination. For some of you, this could even involve actual travel if distance is a factor. And here's where it gets interesting. The Nine of Cups comes back around with judgment. That's wish fulfillment. That's a heart-level truth finally being spoken. They're preparing to tell you how much you truly mean to them. And this time it's not about control. It's not about ego. It's about raw emotional expression. That's the piece you've been waiting for. And it's exactly what they're getting ready to bring to the table. Wow. All right, my loves, this one definitely feels very specific. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here for today. I'd really love to hear in the comments if this message resonated with any of you out there, because your feedback always means so much. And of course, if you enjoyed the reading, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future messages. Until next time, my loves, take care of yourselves and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now.